All right, guys. May 1st, welcome back. Welcome to the late evening live stream. I'm just going to be here for a few minutes tonight to hang out with you guys while I sip my nighttime tea. We've got a live stream early in the morning tomorrow before the market opens to listen in on Cinemark's earnings call, their results for Q1. So let's not stay up too late tonight, and be sure and join me on that live stream. In the meantime, a couple of stocks to look at, a couple of fun, interesting things to talk about, and maybe we'll pull up some news. I just put out a video on Mullen announcing a vote in a few weeks for their 7th reverse stock split. 7th split since 2023 or 2024. 3rd one this year. 2nd one in the last 30 days. Oh my goodness. How is this even allowed to happen? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on Mullen. What a train wreck. Company needs to sell some cars, man. The other thing, we had some news this week from another meme stock, Genius Group, GNS, announcing their 2024 full year results. And I did read through that filing. I watched Roger Hamilton's presentation, his video presentation. And I have a few questions for you, Roger. And I've sent them to you. And I guess you don't want to answer. I don't know. But I'm going to provide my thoughts tomorrow on GNS. I sure would like to have you have the opportunity to answer very simple investor questions in your own words for clarity and transparency. If not, I'll just have to assume the answer. And nobody wants me to do that. Trust me. GNS had accumulated 440 Bitcoin through their Bitcoin treasury program, but they're also undergoing some legal struggles right now. And there's a injunction on them limiting their ability to raise funds, unfortunately. I've spent a day this week putting together I've loosely followed GNS. I'm not invested in GNS. I'm not long, I'm not short. I just find all of these meme trades fascinating, especially if the CEO ever mentioned naked shorts or hired Wes Christian. Oh, I'm really interested then. Because, we'd all like to see somebody succeed. So I follow them all loosely. Mullen, GNS, Finger, GTII. I've got a list of 25 companies that have hired Share Intel or Wes Christian, and I keep up with them. Doesn't mean that I'm short them or that I'm long them, but I'm a retail trader just like you guys. I'd like to see one company have some success, but so far none of them have. GNS had 440 Bitcoin, and because of the injunction that they had filed against them from this company, they tried to do a asset purchase with, what was that company's name? LIZG or something like that. They had to sell almost all their Bitcoin. I think they have 66 left. We just found out. Surprise! All the Bitcoin sold off. Headstock Harem, howdy. Anya, welcome. Just sipping my tea, Anya. Trying to, no beer still, no alcohol since January 1st. I'm going to update you guys tomorrow on my 4-month weigh-in. This will be month 5. Trying to fit in those pair of jeans that I ordered at the end of last year that I couldn't fit in. And then my belt broke and I ordered a new belt and it didn't fit either. I had to take my knife and carve a new hole in the very tongue of the belt. Anyways, making great progress. And I got some exciting stuff to tell you tomorrow in a brief video for those of you that are getting old like me and struggling with staying in shape. It's been a great start to this year, getting the diet back on point, strict, clean, making sure I move every day, exercise. Genius Group, 440 Bitcoin down to 66. And they got multiple legal battles going on. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I spent the better part of a day this week putting together the 2-year timeline of everything that's happened with GNS. But I need to briefly read the legal filings. GNS is suing people. People are suing GNS. And then I'm going to make a video saying what's going on with GNS. I don't really think that many people are involved with it anymore. But they're trying to sue people for RICO and naked shorting. So that's interesting to me. I know some of y'all are loosely interested in that stuff too, whether or not we're trading the stock. I think we'd all like to see a win from somebody, anybody. All these lawsuits get filed and then Wes Christian walks away. He quits, or the company dismisses the lawsuit, or the court just says, no, not going to happen. There's a couple that are making their way through, and I'm just waiting. I'd love to make a video telling y'all, we won. Somebody won. But so far, it's just nothing but everyone coming up to bat and striking out. Maybe one day we can pop champagne that the bad guys finally got caught. Anya says, I saw my first Carvana flatbed truck carrying a little car, so they actually have some business going on. Yeah, I think, Carvana and CarMax both have business going on. Whether or not Carvana was worth the multiple that they ran up to, that's a whole nother debate, right, Anya? We like multiples here on this channel. We like reasonable multiples based on earnings. That's what we like. We don't like them inflated, lofty multiples. When the prices get run up, we will be patient and wait, even if we got to wait a year. If we really like a company, the multiples are ridiculous. A lot of times, just be patient. They'll come down, and you can snag you some. 275, the multiple. Holy shit on you. Let's talk about a couple of these tickers I have on the screen, and then we can look at Carvana or whatever else y'all want to look at tonight in our brief little joint time together. AMC, top left quadrant, 265. In the news on AMC this week, we got a 10K amendment on April 30th, which was 120 days from the end of their fiscal year, which was December 31st. And they had to file some update on the compensation plan within 120 days. That's your time limit to get it incorporated by reference in a 10K. So that's why that happened on April 30th. Normally, we would see the compensation plan details show up in a proxy in May, but there's no proxy yet. So that's why we got the filing on the 30th. Guess that was yesterday, right? I think it said Adam Aaron made $11 million in 2024. They didn't really talk that I saw. I read through it quickly. It's 150. It's a lot of pages. I read through it. I've read those things so many times. There's only certain things that I look for. And I was looking for any mention about what they're going to do for compensation this year, being out of shares. How do you pay RSUs or PSUs? I didn't see it. If y'all read through it and if you saw it, let me know. But we got that filing with the compensation 2024 overview for AMC. And there was a note at the beginning of the filing that said the annual meeting for AMC will be most likely in the third quarter. Now, what I understand about rules from the state of Delaware, where AMC is incorporated, is that they have 13 months, unless there are extenuating circumstances, 13 months from the last annual meeting to hold their next one. Last year was June 5th. That means theoretically their drop dead date for this year to have a meeting would be July 5th. I haven't looked at the holiday schedule, but somewhere around there. We know July 4th is a holiday. What day of the year is that on this year? Let's take a lookie. July 4th is on a Friday. So, I mean, could their meeting be the first week of July? Maybe. Could they push it into August or September? Maybe too. I don't know. I don't know. I think they can get away with pushing it until someone files a lawsuit in the Delaware court saying, hey, you need to have your meeting, and then the court can compel them to have it. But that takes months. So maybe they slide. Maybe they slide the rule book, that little gray line. But I think, you guys know I don't talk about AMC a lot because I'm waiting to see that proxy statement before I say anything on public social media. I don't want to get too quick to be patting ourselves on the back about fantastic Q2 box office, and then they slip me a Mickey with a proxy proposal that I'm not going to be happy about. So I'm just keeping my mouth shut. But in the Discord, we talk about it every day. If you want to know my thoughts, just join the Discord. The link is in pretty much every video description. And I'll tell you, I'll answer any question about any ticker you want. And we talk about AMC every day, and we have a running pool on what is going to happen with what's going to be on the proxy and when it's going to drop. But I'm just going to not say anything because I don't want to hurt. I'm already hurting enough feelings just existing in life. I don't need to be talking about AMC every day. Once I see what is on the proxy, then I will decide if I trade AMC again or not. It's really, it's for myself, just a risk management waiting game. I want to see what's on there. What are they going to tell us? But box office is great. We saw Until Dawn yesterday. We saw Thunderbolts or Bolt. We saw that one, the Marvel movie, today at 3:30 and IMAX at AMC. The horror movie, I didn't know it was based on a video game 9 or 10 years ago, but it was entertaining. It wasn't great. It was fine for a Wednesday. I likened it to a mix between A Nightmare on Elm Street and the scariest haunted house that you've ever been in, where someone's chasing you with hammers and chainsaws. You get that feeling like, oh, every corner I turn, there's danger and something banging on the wall and something trying to kill me. Closer to a haunted house, unfortunately, than Nightmare on Elm Street. Wasn't that good. And that first one, Nightmare on Elm Street, I mean, can we agree that was a good movie? Thunderbolts, we both enjoyed it a lot. It was the first show of the day today in IMAX. And clearly, those were all fans watching the movie. People were laughing their ass off. The movie's funny. The writing is good. The actors are good. We thoroughly enjoyed it. So, will it have broad appeal outside of people that are not married to the Marvel universe? I don't. I'm not calling for this to be a $1 billion movie. But it was a good movie, and you should go see it, especially if you enjoy anything of the Marvel universe. We were, worried about early months ago, bad sentiment towards this movie. And I think that kind of dissolved over the past month or so as more trailers came out and then the reviews came out from the pros. And I think it will do fine. It'll do fine. American Dream. Is that the American Dream? The American Dream, Eight Fathers buddy? Is that you? What's up? What's up if it is American Dream? He's a fellow Texan. Last time I heard, I ran into another fellow Texan over in William Ferrand's chat, Volkstoy something. I remember the name vaguely from the past. Hello to all my fellow Texans and Southerners and United States citizens and global citizens of the world as well. About the chase, how you doing? Anya says maybe they're waiting for everyone to be on vacay, getting back to the AMC annual meeting. Maybe, Anya. I think, we've kind of all, I think, thought this. The longer they wait, the better Q2 numbers are going to look, the more they have to brag about. So, hey, I think the smart thing to do is delay it as long as you can. It's a lot better to have good shit to talk about if you're AMC management, like a full fantastic April and May. It's a lot better to talk about that than only have Q1 to talk about. Q1's going to be a stinker. But they got to talk about it. They're going to do the old pivot, Yes, it was bad. We knew it was going to be bad. That's why we raised money in December and January. But the rest of this year looks great. We're not going to burn cash near that rate for the rest of this year. We might even make money some quarters this year. And then even better, 2026, 2027. But I still want to see a proxy statement before I do anything next. That is just me. You guys do whatever you want. Headstock Harem says, just saw King of Kings and Minecraft. Yeah, I have, kids. We loved Minecraft. I have not seen King of Kings yet. I really wanted to see it around Easter, but timing-wise, it just didn't work out. Cartoon movies, they're the lowest on my priority list. I do try and support the Christian movies, especially though. And who knows? Maybe I'll get it in if they haven't already pulled it from the list as more and more popular and timely stuff comes out. If I can catch it, I will. If I got a slow day. Anya says, I wonder how the blanket sales are going. I don't know, Anya. I keep on forgetting to look for blankets. I know my wife brought a blanket today. She brought one from home. And you and I have had that talk before about how I got to drag her away from the merch. Every time we walk past it, he's like, oh, Tony, look at this. It's so cute. It's a candle. It's a mug. It's a little creature. It's a blanket. It's a t-shirt. Oh, and can we have some kids so we can buy this little onesie? Look at this. She loves the merch, Anya. Matt says, Tony, what do you think about all this chatter about Tesla looking to replace Elon? I caught brief snapshots of it on X yesterday. I was pretty busy yesterday. And by the time I had time to check into it, Tesla had already, it was Wall Street Journal that started the rumor, I guess. By the time I really had a chance to heavily look into it, Tesla had already put out a rebuttal saying that was not true. And I just went on about my day after that. We'll pull up the Tesla ticker. I haven't even looked at it today. We'll pull that up here in a minute. Let's finish talking about what else we got on the screen here. GameStop, looking beautiful, 27.43. It hit 28.35 in early doors this morning. I'm in GameStop at 21 something. 21.25. Right? I mean, chart looks good. Bitcoin's going up. There's no reason for me not to hold it. Doesn't look like it's topping out just yet. I'm watching the supply and demand zones. I think I did a video on GameStop a couple days ago. We're right in the middle of this channel. I'm not drawing triangles or Doritos or tacos or any dumb stuff like that. We got a supply zone. We got a demand zone. We bounce off of them. I like to buy at the bottom, sell at the top, unless we get a breakout above the top, which would be cool with me too. So we're just chilling. We're chilling and being patient with GameStop. And I think it's just going to follow Bitcoin until I see evidence that it's not, or the company says they didn't buy any, in which case we might see some quick shuffling around on price as people have built in certain assumptions. I think that GameStop likely bought some when it was cheap, and therefore it's been mirroring the price action of Bitcoin since the beginning of April. That's my working theory, and that's why I'm holding. Plus, the chart doesn't look too bad. So that's where I'm at with GameStop. Still holding. Finger. I dropped in on a couple of Williams live streams today and said hello. They don't like me over there because I don't make videos about Finger. Not worth my time. I've traded you guys in the Discord, Anya. You can tell them we've traded Finger long as a momentum trade many times over the years, even recently. I don't know why people think I'm shorting Finger, because I share my DD with you, because it doesn't confirm what you want to hear, that it's going to $1,000. That means I'm shorting it? No. We just trade it smart. We buy it cheap. We sell into run up. We don't listen to promoters with ridiculous price target. And that's what I saw it happening with G-Bucks as it was peaking, and they're telling you it's going from 6 to 1,000. I spent 1 second of my day tweeting about it, saying, great time to take profits if I was in that trade. And now it's like what's G-Bucks at? 280. Promoted by the same people, 292. G-Bucks being promoted by the same people as Finger. Once G-Bucks wraps up, I'll tell you all the reason why things are happening, why it's being promoted. It's very, very clear to anybody who reads the filings what's going on, why they're paying someone to promote it, to pump it, to push it. And similar with Finger. I think that there have been investor relations people hired to promote the stock. People hear me say promote, and they rejigger that as me saying pump and dump. I don't even know if they own it, to be honest. But I think there are investor relations consultants being paid to promote it, because the company has disclosed, as I've talked about for years with you guys, and people found out painfully in December as the stock tanked. The company has told you that they need to raise cash. Very plainly disclosed multiple times in their filing. I read what the company says, and I don't have any agenda. I just tell you because the promoters aren't telling you this stuff. People got absolutely wrecked in December on Finger. And then it came down to a good price. Finger's not a horrible company. They actually have revenue. I don't hate it. It's a fine momentum trade if you get in the right price and you have a reasonable exit. But these people telling you it's going to 100, 600, 1,000, they're man, send me some of that good stuff. There's warrants that were sold, 5 million shares worth of warrants that were sold to institutions in December with $1.50 strike price, conversion price. And Finger will make money if those warrants are exercised. That's 5 million shares times $1.50. Finger needs money. They disclosed to you in their own filings over and over and over that they need money to grow their business, to sustain their business. $7.5 million sure would come in handy. Pay a consultant, a promoter on social media, give him a few shares, hire him for a 2-month, 3-month contract, talk it up, have X calls every day. It's not illegal. You can hire a consultant to talk about your stock. He should disclose it, I think. If you're being paid, you should be disclosed somewhere. Maybe he's not being paid. I don't know. But Finger sure would love to have those institutions convert those warrants so Finger can get their $7.5 million. And then those institutions who convert, $3 is a great price to sell at. 4 would be better. 6 would be awesome. I don't know how high Finger can go. I'm not giving any price targets on Finger. It's not going to 1,000, I tell you that. There's almost no short interest in this company. But the point is, if those warrants are converted, good for the company. But for you as a shareholder, that's going to be dilution. And it's going to be just some added sell pressure holding the top of the price down. Now, if retail, through the promotion of the stock on social media, can hang in there long enough for all those warrants to be exercised and those 5 million shares to be sold, which, I figure, in general numbers, if it's a low volume like Finger is, maybe 10% of the float is people selling converted warrant. If it was a massive volume day, they'd dump them all in one day. If it can hang up here in the $3 range, they'll slowly convert and sell. If retail can keep buying past the point that those 5 million warrants are exercised, then maybe it keeps going up. The company doesn't, as far as I know, they don't have an active ATM. They have I think they have an active shelf from 2023, but there's no open ATM. It's not like the company's gonna, you're not gonna wake up and they just sold a bunch of shares. You could wake up to a new ATM offering. You could wake up to a private placement, but why they just canceled a registration? Why would they do that? Because they can make money selling warrant conversion. No one's talking about that, so I'm talking. I'm sorry if it hurts your feeling, but I really want to see you make a profitable trade. And then when the price comes back down, you can rebuy. That's all. GT, what's up? He says, are you back in AMC? GT, I am, as I've said since November, I'm out of the trade until I hear. I was out for 2 reasons. Because Q1 was going to be awful. And in November, I told everybody that I expected a December dilution event, which happened because they needed to raise cash because of Q1. So that's why I got out. But I also know that they're out of shares, and I am uncertain what the company is going to do about that. Maybe they do nothing. But from my perspective, and I could be completely wrong, I'm not the CFO, but from my perspective, it is a strategic risk to the company to have no share offering ability. Maybe they roll the dice and say, we're good. The box office is going to be fantastic. We don't need any more cash raisability. That'd be cool. If they're that confident, go on with your bad self, Sean Goodman. But I feel like the smart thing to do if I was in the boardroom would be, let's get some cash raisability on board. Doesn't mean we need to raise cash tomorrow because box office is looking good. Cash flow's looking good now. But were something bad to happen, we're screwed. So I'm just trying to think like they think. And that makes a lot of people mad. You're not thinking like us. You're not telling us what we want to hear. You know, trying to think like they think has worked very well for me. Once I made that mental shift, worked very well. We've called the last 3 dilution and got out of the way in front of each one and then got back in cheaper. If my intuition from listening carefully to them and reading the filings has been working, then I don't plan on changing how I analyze AMC or how I trade it. I want to see what's on the proxy is the long answer. I want to see what is on the upcoming proxy. Do they talk about needing to issue more shares or do a reverse split? No. In the meantime, I'm just going to movies, and I was buying beef jerky and Diet Coke at AMC, but they pulled all the beef jerky. Can't be found. And there's nothing else I can eat at AMC until I lose 10 more pounds. I'm being strict. My wife, you know, don't worry. She's doing damage on the cheddar popcorn and the vanilla shakes and the candy and chocolate covered almonds. It's not that we're not spending money. I just got to sit there and watch her eat it, which is not really fair, but it is what it is. I said I was going to lose weight, and I'm going to get there in the next couple months. Dink, what's up, amigo? Matt says the only stock plays that run up to close to $1,000 a share is those random China stocks. Yeah, like Meagle and HKD. We remember them well, Matt, and people will always say, remember, it's going to be these promoters on Finger and GTII. Same guys, by the way. It's always the same guy. And we don't need to mention names. I have a problem with their DD, not with the person. They won't talk about the financials. They won't talk about the fact that the company needs to raise money or has no income. They just tell you naked shorts, naked shorts, naked shorts, no evidence. Oh, well, here's a short volume report. That's not evidence of naked shorts. You're lying to people. I have problems with that, the lying to people with data. That's what pisses me off. Every ticker has high short volume. Every single, with a very small exception. It's not evidence of anything except trading. Some of these tickers might be getting shorted. But you can look at the short interest report and see that they're not carrying those shorts. If I had to guess what the shorts are doing, if they're attacking those stocks in and out on the same day, easy money for them. I'm not saying the stocks aren't being shorted. Probably are. Not naked shorts, just day traders. It's easy money. The companies are diluting, and they're disclosing to you that they need to dilute. That's why the price is going down. The shorts are just, they're reading the filings and saying, well, this is an easy one. Sometimes we catch them off guard and we get a little run up. That's cool with me. I don't short stocks. I don't care. Fuck them. Burn them. Make them lose some money. I'll raise a glass with you if you fuck over some shorts. We're going through every ticker on the screen here, Michael. We talked about AMC for a long time. We talked briefly about my long position in GameStop. And now we're just briefly talking about Finger. Because I don't plan on making any videos about Finger. It's not worth my time. We trade Finger from time to time for a long momentum trade when we can buy it cheap and sell into run it. That's my trading style on Finger. Wait for it to get cheap selling to run up. Not a horrible company, but there's a lot of horrible due diligence being pushed by stock promoters that won't talk about the financials. At least I'm going to give kudos to William today for doing his best, I think, to acknowledge that the company has a need for cash. And hat tip to you, William, for being honest with folks. And his people in his comments fighting him. Like, it's discouraging to me to see people like that in the comments calling anyone paid by the shorts because they dare have an opinion based on reading the filings and looking at the financials. Like, that's the bare minimum you guys should be doing to show up before you punch the button on buying a ticker. If your only DD is someone on a space call said there's trillions of naked shorts, boy, man, you're going to have a tough time talking to anybody in the investing community. Because guess what? A lot of us read filings and financials, and we're going to share facts disclosed by the company with you. Doesn't mean we're short. We're literally reading the company filing to you. If you don't like it, go talk to the company. It's their data. Michael, finger has been popping because Fidelity, for one, turned off the buy button unless you call in. You can't buy it. And I verified this. I have accounts in most brokers, and I was going to just go buy it. Let me buy one share of Finger and check this Fidelity thing out. Nope, couldn't buy it online. But I've seen people say on social media that you can call in. Why would a company do that? Well, it's one of two things. People on social media will tell you that they're worried because they're too short or they have too many fails and blah, 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 blah. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to give you any definitive answer, but I will give you what another possibility is. See, the promoters only want to talk about things that suit their narrative. Another possibility is Fidelity has identified that the stock is overvalued, likely to be diluted and being manipulated on social media. That is also a possibility. And they want the opportunity to get you on the phone to ensure that you understand the risk that you are taking. That is a risk protection for them. Look at how many brokers are being sued over MMTLP. Do you wonder why a company might take a dumpy little Chinese penny stock and want to talk to you on the phone before you buy it so they can get you on a recorded line? That's another possibility. But that excitement being pushed by the promoters that Fidelity turned off the buy button and their spin on the story that Fidelity's in trouble, again, I don't know. That has created some momentum in the stock. And we'll see where it goes. I don't know how high it'll go. But if you got in a buck and a 120 and you could have sold at $3 today, that, in my book, a pretty good trade. Hey, if it runs up to 5 or 6 again, even better. And I will, like I said, I'll raise a glass to you, but it is not going to $1,000. And these guys, that's what they're saying every day. G-Bucks is going to 600. Finger is going to 1,000. Same, they said the same thing with MMTLP, GTII. I've been here all along with you guys telling you these are ridiculous numbers. Not going to happen. But the same people, same character, everything. And nobody ever learned. Man, if I could find a 200% trade every other week that wasn't super, super risky, it'd be a good life. Matt says, I wish they would say they're getting paid to talk. I don't know if they are or not, Matt. It just seems like at least some people that talk about stocks. If they will not talk about the financials, at least William talks about the financials. I heard him today say that companies probably needs to raise money. They do. They do. He's being honest with you. The ones that won't talk about the financials and only talk about naked shorts, either they're delusional or they're likely compensated in some way. And there's a whole network of them. And if you say anything that's not on their program, they come after you, man. They won't talk about the financials. They won't talk about your due diligence. It's all just personal attacks. And that's that bot strategy of trying to discredit people. That don't work on me. I'm just going to read the company filings. There's no disputing my DD because I'm reading the company's own shit to you. You don't like what I'm saying, tell the company to stop printing facts in their 10Qs. Sly, what's up? Michael says, has FNGR made a profit before? Yeah, I mean, of all the companies that have been pumped, Michael, FNGR's not the worst. It's not a horrible company, which is why I've traded it. Let me pull up and let's see. I don't remember if they made a profit or not. Hang on one second. But at least they have income. They got shit going on. Not like GTII. How many times did I warn y'all that the only reason GTII was surviving is because the owner was writing checks, keeping the company afloat, paying it to get pumped so then he could sell shares and buy his masseuse a car and his children furniture and who the fuck knows what else. I can rip off, man. We called that from day one. No revenue, motherfucker. FNGR Motion, financial, quarterly revenue. See, they have pretty steady revenue. It's not horrible. If we go down to net income, they have not made a profit. And they're not even really improving. But it's not a staggering loss. That's what I would say good about FNGR. It's not a staggering loss like Mullen. Net income negative 70 million and a quarter, and they've got $1 million on the balance sheet in cash. Like, oh my God. The cash needs from FNGR are small. So if you can catch it on a good cycle where the price gets beaten down and then you want to take a chance of a social media pump and then sell into that at $2, $3, $4, that's a good trade. I mean, it's risky as all get out because the company's not really growing and they're not making positive net income. But in terms of social media, thinly traded stocks, which have an active promoter, there's opportunities here. The higher it gets, the more I'd be thinking about taking some off the table. Instead, I see just doubled my position at $3. How many calls should I buy? How far out should my strikes be? I want to get those $6 calls. Boy, oh boy. You guys see some crazy shit out there. People never learn. What do they do? Dink is asking. They operate in the mobile, I'm going to call it the mobile minute business in China. Let's see if I can. And then they have some contracts through a subsidiary country to potentially build some emergency vehicles outfitted with emergency responder type equipment. The company offers, but that's brand new. And that's the cash intensive part of their business. They got to build all these things up. And I don't know that they've been paid yet. Company offers telecommunications products and services, including data plans, subscription plans, mobile phones, loyalty point redemption, and other mobile protection plans. I mean, it's kind of, it's not exciting. It's only exciting because people are saying there's billions of naked short. Otherwise, this would be on nobody's radar whatsoever. It's being promoted. The other thing that that I noticed is you notice. Last thing I'm going to say. Notice the income's relatively from right to left here. 12, 9, 6, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. All right, that's fine. Problem I see, and I'm not a CPA. I just look for common problems. Accounts receivable is growing, not staying flat. If the income's flat and you're collecting on your receivables, your AR should be flat. What does this tell you when the accounts receivable has gone up from $6 million to $26 million in a few quarters? They're not collecting on their sales. What does that tell you then? Potential liquidity problem, because you still got bills to pay, but your customers aren't paying you. They might pay you one day, $26 million. Hey, I mean, if they could frickin' collect on their accounts receivable, no dilution needed. Do it. What's the CFO doing? Where's the transparency on why AR is growing? I couldn't find it in the 10K. They could collect on that. All of their problems are solved. But this, to me, is a problem area. Maybe it gets fixed next quarter. I don't know. But I see little things and I point them out to you. And then you can do with that whatever you want. That'd be super bullish if they next quarter say, hey, we collected 20 million of our accounts receivable. Whew. Beautiful. Otherwise, balance sheet's not horrible. Current assets, 4.7. Current liabilities, 22. Oh, wait. Current assets, 31. Current liabilities, 22. That's fine. Assets, 31 million. Liabilities, 22. That's fine. I mean, it's not positive shareholders' equity. I don't hate her. They just got some liquidity issues. And that's why you need to be. They probably need to raise. All right. Anya says someone in the chat suggested JCI. Yeah. Let's look at JCI and Tesla real quick. Johnson Controls. Oh yeah, that's always been a solid play. Haven't looked at them in years. Yeah. Ooh-wee. We should have bought that back in 2010 for a couple bucks on you. Dollars up. As long as people are building buildings, Johnson Controls a good ticker. PE ratio on it is 33 with a forward PE of 24. Pretty reasonable. Good company to have on our radar, Anya. Set some pullback price targets and alerts if it ever pulls back. I'm not super excited to go buy it with 24 PE ratio, but if it dropped down into the 60s like this, just April 11th, not bad. Not a bad little entry. Set a mental reminder for myself. Treetop says, those small losses could easily turn into small profits if the right moves are made with management, right? Treetop. I was talking to a CPA friend of mine the other day, and he was saying, look, man, if I worked at a company where the CFO was not collecting on accounts receivable, there'd be people losing their job. Like, How does your accounts receivable grow like that? Your company's getting strangled by not being able to collect. Maybe they have a good reason, but I couldn't find it in the filing. Company should be disclosed if there was a good reason. They just kind of, well, let's not mention that. Let's not mention. Michael says the reason the pop was they had to upgrade to a strong buy. Stock. Is that the one from Knox News? I'm going to pull up stock. I clicked on a link that Anna's Trades put in Twitter, and I got an immediate warning. Do not progress on this website from Knox News, Knox Financial, whatever the fuck. It was talking about the strong buy with a $5 price target. It said this website will load a Trojan onto your computer. I was like, oh, great. Yeah, I'm not going to read that. I have other ways to look for analyst comments, and I did not see any analyst coverage on FNGR since 2023 when the same press release was put out. Initiates buy with $5 price target. I think maybe I'll be proved wrong here in just a second, but I think somebody recycled. Change the date. Frank Nez. See, Frank is not the original source. He's quoting the other person who quoted something which had a Trojan on it. But let's see. In a recent report, a prominent analyst from the benchmark company initiated coverage. All right, where's the link? Frank? Where's the link? You're just regurgitating a tweet. And I'm not going to click on a link that's got a Trojan on it. I can find 10 websites where I can get analysts upgrades and comments on a stock. Couldn't find anything on FNGR Motion except June of 2023. Same headline. Initiate strong buy with $5 price target. So my guess, until someone gives me compelling evidence otherwise, maybe I'll call that analyst. Unless someone, if I call that analyst and he says, no, I did not do that, then I will make a video. I will call some motherfuckers out. Here's the article. Knox Daily. Click on this link if you got Malwarebytes or Norton's and see if you get the Trojan warning. It would not let me go through. But look, benchmark company initiates. When do you, they didn't even spell initiates correctly, first of all. When do you initiate coverage? When you first start covering it, right? Now go look up this headline from June of 2023. Same fucking headline. Benchmark initiates FNGR Motion rating to a buy at $5. I mean, guys, there are people that will lie to you out there. You know that, right? They will Photoshop shit. Find me any independent, legitimate website, not Knox Daily with a Trojan virus on it. Find me any website and send it to me that is legitimate, that has this headline. And I don't mean someone reporting on this tweet like Frank Nez. That is a useless article. But it's good for the promoters. There is a group of them, and they will put out whatever misinformation they have to get those warrants sold. Treetop says, by the way, if you can find an even better metric called days sales outstanding, it's better than aged receivables. Not always easy to find, though. True that. Yep. There are a lot of nitty-gritty accounting metrics like we could look at. And I don't usually even talk about, or to be honest, even look at myself, but inventory turns, days sales outstanding, a lot of good stuff like that. If you're familiar with accounting, you probably, I'm looking to analyze plays quickly. And most of my life, I was only buying profitable companies. And only in the last few years that I really have to learn all the tricks that these shitty companies do and how, what things to look for. I've done a pretty intensive study every day for the last 4 years, learning every shitty thing that every shitty company can do and why they do it. Doesn't mean that we can't trade them. It just means we need to be smart. Do our own independent look. Forget about all the price targets on social media. Read the filings, understand the financials, and then get a good entry, good exit. What happens in all these plays is by the time people hear about it being promoted, the good entry was already a week ago. They're buying at the top, and then the company dumps shares. And you get fucked. That's what I hate seeing that. I really do. Anya says, I get the feeling you like to find the fraudsters and outsmart them. I don't think, Anya, that these companies are even being fraudulent. They're being very upfront. All I'm doing is reading the company document. There's nothing fraudulent. My first way of looking at things is not everything's a conspiracy foisted upon us by naked short. If that's where your DD starts and stops and you never look at the financials or read what the company is telling you, you're going to get screwed 99% of the time. Unless your timing was impeccable. You got in super early and wisely sold as soon as it started moving up. So I'm not accusing any of these companies of fraud. They're very upfront. I can read it and see exactly what's happening. The problem is, Anya, nobody else is doing that. And if you even dare talk about a company filing, people want to call you a short. Like literally, I'm reading the company document. Anyways, Anya's in the Discord. She knows we read documents and then we just sit back and be patient and wait for good entries. A lot of the stocks you guys are stuck in, we're trading profitably because we're patient. We're not trying to buy the top of every run. The thing I got to work with Anya on is hitting that sell button. Sometimes she beats me though. She hangs on longer to a trade than I do and gets out at an even higher price. Like I want to keep on ringing that cash register. Sometimes I miss the top. Anya says there is a sell button. Michael, yeah, Michael, I don't hate finger. I've listened to, what's the CEO's name? I've listened to the CEO's webcasts, phone calls. I've read every finger filing for the last 2-3 years. I keep up with it. I've traded it. I've bought it cheap and sold it into run-ups several times over the last several years. I'm not on board with people giving you a ridiculous price target. I want to see you ring the register and make money, and then be patient and wait for it to come back down because it will. Treetop says, in other words, accounts receivable going up isn't always bad. You have to compare it to revenue. Increased revenue equals increased accounts receivables. That I agree with you, right? Treetop, you do need to compare them. But the thing that I saw that looked odd to me, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not a CPA, but if I look at these things, if I see income going up, I expect to see accounts receivable going up at some rate similar to the income going up. When I see income flat for a year and a half and accounts receivable 4xing, that to me in my non-CPA brain is a red flag, at least a yellow flag, that I'd like to then go to the 10Q, 10K and find a footnote for management telling me why accounts receivable is stacking. And when I can't find that footnote, then my yellow flag might turn into a red flag. That's where I'm kind of at, like with FNGR. It's there's some yellow flag. It's not a horrible company if you get in at the right price. I'll be real curious over the next few weeks if we find out, whenever the next filing is, if any warrants got exercised. That's my leading theory. I'm not saying that I'm 100% correct. I've seen this play many times. Warrants and convertibles. The stocks get pumped so that the institutions that hold those warrants or convertibles can exit at a profit. They will sell, they'll convert the warrant or the note to shares and sell them for a profit. And the next filing you get, you found out, oh, that's why the price tanked, because they massively sold on us and diluted the float. Extra selling pressure and dilution. Let's look at Tesla. So I'm curious over the next filing from FNGR. The CEO said they don't need to raise more money. Probably don't. If they sell $7.5 million in warrants, or they already sold them, but if they get exercised, if they make $7.5 million, probably don't need to raise more money. But why am I the only one talking about the warrants? That will be dilutive to you, and they will sell those shares on you, those institutions. They're not going to hold it. $3. They're gonna ring their register for 100% gain. Cha-ching! Thank you very much. Retail exit liquidity. Nick, the shirt printer, says, yeah, let's go back to AMC for our wrap up, Nick. But I just wanted to look at Tesla, because as all that craziness was going on yesterday, I wasn't watching what happened to the price. Out down to 269 with the rumors yesterday. Then, yep. In my brain, since I wasn't watching the chart as that news was hitting yesterday, I was thinking it sold off, bigly, but it looks like it didn't. That's good. All right, last question, and then remember, we got a early morning live stream to cover Cinemark earnings tomorrow, so we're not going to hang out late. And I just finished, I almost finished with my sleepy time tea. AMC barcoding on the daily. Recent low back in April is 245. I got out of AMC right here, November 7th, because as I told you guys, I was expecting a December dilution. That means I did not get the top here at 550. I would have loved that. But I was more worried about dilution. It did happen. And the price tanked all the way down to 240. So now I'm waiting for my green light on my risk things that I'm watching. I'm waiting for my green light to get back in. It feels weird to me. I have not traded this stock for 5-6 months. But we're very patient, and we have other plays going on in the cinema industry. All the work I do on AMC and watching the movie industry does not go to waste. We doubled our money last year in IMAX. We doubled our money in MCS. I have other tickers in the industry that I own right now. I'm just waiting on AMC because I'm being patient and cautious. I don't hate it. I want to see what's on the proxy. And meanwhile, the only theater I've gone to since 2020 is AMC. I do what I can, ladies and gentlemen. I want to see the companies do well, and I want to see you guys get some of your money back if you held on or you're averaging down. Michael, what I would say on Finger, go try and find any other source of that headline. Use deep search on Grok, use ChatGPT, use Google. Find any other source than that one website that no one's ever heard of. That's my challenge. If you find one, send it. 271 closed for AMC consecutive days is very unusual. All right, let's look at that. One thing that just jumps out at me, yes, it was barcoding down here, is that the volume is usually low. 6 million, 7, 5, 8. And, you know, when the price tanked here 2 days ago, I was like, y'all need to quit complaining about 271 because they're showing you what for. You don't like 271? All right. How you feel about 254? I just think, Michael, hey Sparky, what's up? I want to do some bond chat with you on GameStop here one night this week if you got a chance. Bond arbitrage trader talk. Like, let's get in the mind of these bond traders so we can help some GameStop people understand what's going on in this trade. Not just the bonds, but the stock. A lot of misinformation out there in GameStop world. A lot of pumping. But hey, I'm long at $21, so they can say whatever they want. Just leave them alone. But for those of you that want to have good exits, we're going to keep sharing DD with you. These other people that are pumping, they apparently are never selling. So they do what they do. I do what I do. AMC barcoding is low volume, and I honestly think that the institutions or anybody who is interested in trading AMC in volume is waiting just like I am for the proxy. That's going to be my humble brag bet that it's in no man's land because there's no volatility. There's no way to make money in options right now. And everybody's just waiting to see what the company is going to announce on a proxy. What are they going to do about being out of shares? Then whatever the answer is, yes, no, maybe, then I think we see some or on AMC. That's when things will get moving. That's my guess. And I've been saying that in Discord every day since November. And if you weren't here in the beginning, I know I don't talk about AMC much on social media. I don't own it. And most of y'all don't like my DD anyways. I talk about it every day in Discord. So if you want to know and you're wondering why I'm not talking about it, because nobody wants to hear what I have to say. When there's something meaningful and very important, I will come on and talk about it. But it doesn't mean that we're not analyzing it. Doesn't mean we're not making bets. Doesn't mean we're not following every single filing, every single word, following it very closely. Waiting for our good entry, our perfect timing. You're going to need people like me. When it bottoms out, you're going to need people with cash sitting on the sideline that have been patiently waiting to buy at the bottom. I'll be there. Richie Rich says quarter two, 2.92 billion. Boy, Richie Rich, I hope so. April was fantastic. May's going to be pretty spicy here in a couple weeks. I hope Thunderbolts does great. We saw it today. Great movie. Loved it. Yeah, I mean, I think in January I had forecast Q2 as like 2.5, 2.6 billion, which for me made it very difficult to say if the company was going to make a profit in Q2, AMC. Now I'm leaning towards the company will make a profit in Q2. Your number is 2.9. Mine is, I'll say, likely to be higher than 2.6 the way, if things keep on going the way they're going. The higher the number, the more the profit. I think someone asked me the other day in Discord, what's the break-even number? Maybe it was on Twitter. Somewhere on my spreadsheet, and I'll revise the spreadsheet if I need to when we get Q1 numbers here in a few weeks in case any of the cost structure change. But my number is somewhere around 2.55 billion domestic box for break-even. Anything above that, as long as they get a decent amount of the market share, should be gravy. So 2.9 would, I'd love to see. I'm doing my part, friend. Doing my part. And by the way, A-List is getting ready to go to 4 movies a week. If you're not a member, right now you get 3 free movies a week for like $20 I pay. It's easy to go see movies. Yeah, you spend money on concessions. Skip a meal. Save on your grocery bill. Buy some popcorn or whatever floats your boat. Some chocolate-coated almond. Anya says, anything with Hawaii Electric. I've been watching Hawaii Electric, Anya. I have not been looking at any news. I've just been watching the chart. It's still stuck around this $10. So yeah, might be good to look in on the legal proceedings and catch up. That was a good day. Remember that one, Anya? When we were buying down here and selling up here. I think you made a lot of money on that trade. But, around $10, I can find safer plays with higher probability of run up. So don't hate it, but not closely watching it right now. How can that not go up? Hey, once they get all the legal issues out of the way, Anya, and they get the all clear, I bet it will. But we still have legal uncertainty / risk. Anya says, she sold and rebought. We love that story, Anya, huh? Find a ticker, buy it cheap, let it run up, sell. And if you still love it, buy when it comes back down. A beautiful life when you can live that way, my friends. All these people telling you they'll never sell. Boy, man, I hope you're not listening to those. Never. Woo. All right. It is almost 11 here. We got a live stream tomorrow morning early before the market opens. where we're going to listen into Cinemark. Marcus Corp and AMC will follow a few days later. And I'll see if I can get Sparky on to talk about GameStop bonds, catch you guys up on what bond trading activity is going on from institutions. A lot of bond trading. I know these GameStop pumpers, I will call them pumpers because they lie to you every day. They're telling you the bondholders are diamond handing the bonds. That's nonsense. We can see the bond trading. There's millions of dollars of bonds trading every day. Volatility trade bond. But that is irrelevant to us as stockholders. It's just interesting to know because, first of all, you need to know that the people telling you the bondholders are diamond handing are lying to you. Second, you need to understand what the bondholders' motivations are. And you need to understand why the short interest is rising as GameStop goes up, as they delta hedge their bond. It's all just very basic. There's white papers, there's college textbook, freshman level basic stuff. None of this is secrets or rocket science. I'm just sharing with you common sense, and nobody will dispute that. Nobody will dispute anything I'm saying. What they will instead say is, but Tony, you just don't understand. GameStop is different. Okay, here we go again. Every play is different. Okay, that's fine. You can believe whatever you want to believe. I'm going to talk about what I'm looking at for my trading style and my trading decision. If you don't like it, that's fine. You can measure me over time of being correct or not versus the people who are allegedly never selling. And then the other, let's see, we got movie live streams. We got a GameStop live stream I want to do. And I might do a fitness related live stream this weekend. I reached out to an acquaintance of mine who is a sports rehab physical therapist. I'd like to get him on because I'm not qualified other than talking about my own personal experience. But I love fitness topics, nutrition, supplement, exercise, rehab. Oh boy, I've had about every injury you can imagine because I push myself too hard. But we'll see if we can get him on and do some Q&A with you guys about some different things. And that'll probably be on the weekend if it's a relaxed weekend. Scarlett told me we have a birthday party to go to this weekend. And I don't know what else is up yet. Anya says, Tony explained shorts in one of his last videos. Maybe you will summarize now. Shorts on, Michael says, I think many shorts on PFE. And I don't understand those shorts where the dividend is 43. All right. Look at PFE real quick. Let me pull up my other secret screens over here. Go. We're talking Pfizer. I'm seeing a free float of 5.6 billion shares and a short interest of 100 million, which is under 2% short. If we're talking PFE, I mean, that's what I'm seeing, 2% short interest. I don't consider or talk about any ticker as a short squeeze if the reported short interest is under 20%. That's always been a rule here on this channel. I don't care what the ticker is. 2% in my world of covering stocks is not a short squeeze candidate. Again, you'll have to talk to the people who say, but this one's different. It's all unreported. I don't do that stuff. So, yeah, not a short squeeze for me. That's going to be a no. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. And by the way, if you're in Finger, I dropped William a note today. I'm happy to do a live stream with William. I like talking to other YouTubers. And I'm not a short, and I'm not a shill, and I'm not talking my book. I read the company filings, and I like to follow retail plays, especially if they're suing somebody over naked shorts. Let's let one of these fuckers win one of these times, man. I've traded Finger long several times. Currently have no position, but I've been following it for years, and I might occasionally share an opinion. Don't let that hurt your feelings, Esther. Nick says, Tony, obviously AMC is what most like to hear about, but can you peek at UPS? We got 3 minutes. Yes, Nick, just for you. I'm going to guess that they're getting beat up over global economy and tariff flows. I haven't looked at the ticker. Yeah. Since Trump came in office, they've been getting obliterated. Now that would be just like my gut. Like if haven't read headlines on UPS for a while, but that would be my guess. And so then I'd want to go understand what's driving the price down. We'd want to look at the financials besides having our theory. We'd want to look at what management has been saying. And I'm not going to do the management thing tonight, but we can look at quick revenue. I'll give you in 2 minutes what I look at on any ticker. How to, and I have videos on this for you guys in my education playlist. What to look for to get a quick, is this a shit company or not? Revenue, is it growing? Does it have a long history of upward momentum? UPS did for a long time, but they've been struggling flat here for a couple years. So there's that concern. Gross profit, about the same as revenue, same trend. Operating income, it's going down. This is not great, but you know, they're not losing money. Net income, just kind of boring. We want to see the bars stacking higher and higher every quarter. Earnings per share, it looks like, I don't know what happened. Looks like they were going, oh wait, that's earnings. Wanted to look at shares outstanding, not diluting. All right, so that's basically what I look at on the income statement. We might also peek at free cash flow. We want to see a positive number there. They have positive EBITDA. They have positive gross operating and profit margin. So not horrible, but I mean, it's not super exciting with the flattening out. Balance sheet, a couple things to look at. What's their cash doing? Got almost $5 billion in cash. Way off the highs of 2021, but $5 billion in cash, pretty good. Current assets versus current liabilities will tell us working capital. They have 17 billion in current assets, 15.6 billion in current liabilities. So they have positive working capital. We can confirm that down here. Working capital, 1.4 billion positive. Good. When you see companies that have a negative working capital, that's a red flag to you that you're analyzing a very high risk play. They have more bills due than they have asset in the next 12 months. The other quick thing to look at on a balance sheet, total liabilities versus total assets. So total liabilities 52.7, total assets 68. So 16 billion in shareholder equity. Yeah, 15.6. And of that, I usually want to see how much is goodwill. 4.6. No, we got 4.6 in goodwill and 3.3 in intangibles. That'll be, I don't, patent, trademark. Let's call it 8 billion. 8 billion out of 50. Right, balance sheet fine. Cash flow. Long history of positive operating income. That's good. I'm not trying to decide if UPS is a buy right now. I'm just looking at the very basic due diligence. Is this worth spending more time on? So far, this comes up as one of those trades where we can see they're struggling. We like these plays, actually. We can see they're struggling, but they're not horrible. In fact, there's a lot of good things going on here. Can we imagine a world in which there is a turnaround? They repurchased some stock. That's good. Paid out some dividends every quarter. That's good. We would take a stock like this that basically pretty good, but kind of boring at the moment and say, all right, what is the point at which we would be willing to buy in? And how long do we got to wait for a turnaround? That's the next analysis I would do. And I don't have time to do that tonight, but let's see what the analysts are saying. Price target 82, 120, and 147. And the most recent were all in April, and they're saying 105 to 120. I mean, that's a 28% return if UPS turns around over the next 12 months. That's not horrible. So the DD for UPS is, do you think, based on what you know about the world economy, the US economy, and what management is saying, that is correct, that this stock, that the earnings could go up? All of those price targets that the analysts give you up here are going to be generated from earnings per share expectation and a PE ratio. And you can do this for any stock. I do it for AMC, Cinemark, GameStop. What are the earnings? What's a normal PE ratio in that sector? No, GameStop doesn't get an Amazon PE ratio, sorry. It gets a specialty retail brick and mortar PE ratio. That's why it is overvalued right now. Because people are trying to put an Amazon PE ratio on it when it's a brick and mortar store still. Maybe one day it becomes a Bitcoin valuation, but they haven't announced Bitcoin. They bought it. I can't tell you that yet. When they do, I'll tell you. And if you want to speculate that they will, then good on you. Do what you need to do. That's what I just call a speculative bet. All right. Fuel prices dropping. Nick says, yeah, that would help UPS. We really got to think about what's going to happen with the economy. I heard, what's that company, Temu, and all of these people that ship stuff to people. They're putting huge tariffs and surcharges on their stuff. I mean, all of that is going to slow down people's buying of things and slow down shipping. Is UPS going to go bankrupt? It's really about getting your best entry, doing the best DD you can to understand the economy and when things could turn around for UPS. They'll be fine in the long run, I'm sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully we answered a few good questions, shared some good DD, shared some of my viewpoints about why I talk about tickers. I don't short stocks. Nobody pays me ever for any opinion, good or bad. I just read filing, and I'm opinionated, and I stand by what I say. You can like it or not like it. That doesn't mean that someone's paying me because I have a different opinion than you, friend. Love you all. I want to see you make money. Let's see what Cinemark has to say in the morning. And we'll see you bright and early. Live stream tomorrow before market opens. Ciao.